Oh snap, Glaze is going live.
Hey, good day, good day, good day, good day, good day. Hey, thank you for joining me. Just in case you're joining me for the very first time, I'm your host, the one they call Brian Glaze Gibbs, and this is my ministry. What I do is I talk about the good, I talk about the bad, I talk about the ugly. My objective is to share my life experience and hoping that the words that come out of my mouth can reach the lost soul that's out there. Let them know right now, guess what? Crime doesn't pay. There's no shortcut in life. Only thing come easy is trouble. Easy to get into, I'm saying, but hard to get out, man. Easy to get into, hard to get out. So it's like right now, I want everybody that are not aware of me, I'm saying right now, get your signed copy of Beyond Lucky book, the Brian Glaze Gibbs story, a true story of crack, money, murder, and redemption. If I, the one they call Brian Glaze Gibbs, can change, anybody can change. Today, I was having a conversation with this young man. And even with that conversation I was having with him at work, it's like his name. It brought back memory. And even as I thought about it, I'm like, wait a minute here. And as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about the date and time. And folks, listen, 36 years to the date. Like all that stuff that I was talking to him about, mentioned his name, his namesake, was now. And how that story went was, here it is, I caught a case. I was like, a suspect for a couple of homicides during that period of time. And just so happened, one of the guys that was with me, they picked him up. And, when you start sitting back thinking about it, like, oh man, now I heard they was looking for me. I went upstate, saying to Auburn Correctional Facility, visiting a buddy of mine that had 25 to life at the time. And as I'm visiting him, and I went up there to get my mind right, to get, like right now, that nervous energy out of me. Because once again, you're in some serious trouble. Right now as your name is being circulated and being mentioned, being involved with homicide. So of course, I don't care what anybody say. A lot of times you can do things, guess what? You're gonna later regret it. And for somebody to say they did something and after the fact they thought about it, oh man, what did I did that for? Listen, that was me during that period of time. So anyway, I went upstate, went to Auburn, and as I got back, I made a call. And I called my mother, and she was telling me that, some homicide detective had stopped by and wanted to see me. I'm like, you know what, Mom? I don't know what's going on, but when I get back, I'll get with my lawyer, and we go ahead and solve this. We go ahead and work that out or whatever. So just so happened, when I got back from 59th Street in Columbus Circle, took a cab to Brooklyn, met up with my man Tiny. And when I met up with my man Tiny or whatever, I got a page. When I got a page, it's from my man that had got picked up. And he called me. But when he called me, he used his code. Because back then, folks, we didn't have cell phones. Only people that had cell phones, you have mobile phones. And most of the people that had that back then was doctors, lawyers, and high class drug dealers. I wasn't to that level yet. So the difference is right now is I had a pager. So my pager went off and I see it was my man. I went. I was like in Nostrand Avenue, Nostrand and St. Mark. So I went to a payphone and called like that number back. And then when I picked it up, it say Brooklyn DA office. I'm like, whoa, I hung up that real fast or whatever. But in between that, as I'm hanging up the phone, somebody like called me. And I turn around. And when I turn around, only thing I saw, I didn't even pay attention to the guy. I kind of knew who it was, but only thing I saw was that nickel-plated 38. And I'm like, whoa. And then the next thing I did, like DMC, Run DMC, what'd he say? Run. Man, I ran so fast down Nostrand Avenue. And this cat is shooting at me, boom, letting off, boom. And I'm hauling behind. Mind you, listen, folks, I'm scared to death. Nobody in their rightful state of mind want to die. Even though you walk around, you do things, you got death wish, I didn't want to die, okay? I'm 22 at the time. And right now, I'm running. And this guy on my behind. I can remember right now, it was a Liberty cab. and it was like 3 young ladies got out of there. And I had like a stack, I had a wad. Probably like, I'm saying, I don't know, it was $800-900. I took it to wad and tried to give it to the cab, take me anywhere. Man, this cab driver, literally, I'm saying, like, took off, his door open, and banging in the cars and kept going. And I'm like, right now, this guy on my behind, I'm like, oh boy, I'm out of breath, but I'm running. Because right now, I'm desperate. I'm trying to save my life, man. I didn't want to die. So I'm running, and eventually I got away. Sit back and think about it. I'm on Nostrand Avenue. Anybody from the metropolitan area, especially from the Brooklyn area, Nostrand Avenue is notorious. You always got cops. You always got New York finest right there all up and down Nostrand Avenue. But on this particular day, there was no cops around. No cops around. And right now is, guess what? When you need them, you cannot find them. So, hold behold, my man Tiny, we wound up paging. I went to the phone, out of breath, told him where I was at. He came and picked me up in the car. And we was talking about who was it. It was Dushan. Prior, like a week before that, me and Dushan had gotten into a shootout in Cypress Hill Project because he wanted to rob me. So you know what? We got into a shootout. Okay? Now, payback time. All right. I'm like mad. I left, get in the car with Tiny. Now, I go to the Cypress Hill. Right now, 1266 South Avenue, apartment 4B. So when I go there, talk to my moms. Like she's telling me, she, all concerned, worried. I said, Mom, don't worry about it. Right now, what I'm gonna do is, come Monday, I'm going to see my lawyer, and we're gonna get the situation resolved. All right, now, I leave there. I go to the Fountain Avenue, the Fountain Sutter side, the A-team side. So when I get there, I'm looking for the leader of the A-team. And right now is, guess what, man? This guy, like I said right now, is it's 7 floors, 7 apartments. So right now, they basically control, like 4 buildings. So you sit back and think about it. 7 floors, 7 apartments, right now, 4 buildings. That's like almost, 196 apartments. But right now, I went to different places where I thought he might have been, and he wasn't. Downstairs, they hustling downstairs. So I couldn't find him. So I went back there, my man Arif. Shout out to my man Arif. I said, I'm about to get out of here. He said, yeah, man, I heard you hot and everything like that. So as we under the building and we looking out into the street on, the Fountain Avenue side. Okay, as we looking at the street, he said, who's that? I said, I don't know, probably customers. Because once again, guess what? But the way that car was sitting, he spotted, I wasn't even paying no mind. So as I left, and what I did was, I left and went to the outskirts of the projects, and I cut between the building on Fountain and Sutter. So as I cut through that building, making a left onto the Sutter Avenue side, that car that was sitting there, all of a sudden that car came around, pull up to me. Window went down. The tinted window went down, and guns coming out the window. They start firing at me. Pop, 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 pop. And I hit the floor. Okay, as I hit the floor, bingo. You know what? Next thing you know, my man Arif, my man Tiny came around, checking me, making sure I wasn't hit. And the crazy part about that, how in the heck I can be in the, Crown Heights section of Brooklyn, then I go to the Cypress section of Brooklyn, and right now I got shot at twice by 2 different, group, Dushan and Nostrand Avenue. Then I got shot at by my man Crazy and his cousin Ty, right there in Cypress. And not only that, folks, to add insult to injury, they was shooting at me with my own gun. Folks, listen, when you sit back and you think about it, what type of lifestyle is that? What type of lifestyle is that? That's not any lifestyle to have. That's a jacked up lifestyle to have. When you being attacked, when you being shot at, I'm talking about 2 totally different locations, back to back. And right now is, guess what? Here it is, close blank. They got me. I'm right there. They got me. They shot at me several times on Nostrand Avenue as I escaped, and shot at me right there, point blank, near Cypress. And guess what? I didn't get shot. I say God must be new. If I'd have got shot in my finger, if I would have got shot in my foot, it would have been over for me. It'd have been over. Now I'm pissed. Only thing I'm seeing is red. So you know what I did? I got up from the ground. They helped me up, making sure I was all right. Now, I go get my vest. And as I go get my vest, folks, you know what? Man, somebody gonna pay. Right now, if I ran into anybody that night, anybody that I had a beef with, anybody that I had any type of problem with, anybody that had looked at me the wrong way or whatever, anybody that had did something I felt they violated, guess what? They was gonna meet they make it that night, because once again, I wanted revenge. I wanted blood. But you know what? Here it is. You go around looking for people, couldn't find nobody. So you know what? We wound up calling tonight. When I called tonight, what wound up happening? Okay? The next morning, me and my man Tiny got up, and I said, you know what? Listen, man, let me go check my mom. She's at church. So we went to the Bedford-Stuyvesant with the church that she went at. And right now, I'm just letting her know, Mom, I'm all right. And like I say, I'm going to keep my promise. Come Monday, I'm going to my lawyer, and we're going to check all this out. We're going to get all this resolved. You know what, folks? Listen, man, I know I was guilty of sin, but how many of us going to tell our moms, yeah, Mom, I was responsible for that. I was responsible for killing people. I was responsible for selling drugs. I was responsible for being, you know what I'm saying, causing havoc and destroying my community. I couldn't do that. You know what? That was something that I was not proud of. That was something that I couldn't look that woman in her eyes and say, look, your baby boy's a killer. Your baby boy's no good. You know, despite she knew it in her own little way, but I couldn't tell her that. Man, listen, like right now we left her church. Me, my man Tiny, and I forgot, you know, my man, another cat was with us. And all of a sudden, as we leaving the Bedford-Stuyvesant section, you know, my old stomping ground, as we leaving, and we in the car, I'm in the back seat, okay? I got on glasses. I had like a fade, a little teeny little afro with a fade, you know? And next thing you know, detectives, homicide detective from the 83rd precinct pull us over. When they pull us over, you know, I told my man, I'm saying, put up your hands. You know what I'm saying, period. So when they stop us, we stop, pull up our hands. And when we put up our hands, guess what? They say, nah, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? We put up our hands. They say, put your hands down, put your hand down. Routine check, routine check. Man, folks, next thing you know, you probably had like 10 to 15 blue and white cop cars out of nowhere. All over the place. Got us surrounded. Now, all of a sudden, put your damn hands up. We already had our hands up. So now, guess what? They took my man out, took my other man out, and they got to me. And what they told me, they say, either they put a handcuff on me, either we got the wrong person or you in a lot of trouble. Folks, like I said right now, at 22 years old, imagine what type of trouble I was in. That person, you know what I'm saying, Detective Maloney or Mahoney, picked me up, you know what I'm saying, they got me in the car, and when they got me in the car, he told me, man, like I say, either we got the wrong person or you're in a lot of trouble. So even during that period of time, I'm in the back seat of the police car, you know, and I'm like, oh man, I'm through. This is over. They got me. And like I told you right now, out of nowhere, it's like something out of my body, like my spirit left my body and started slapping me up. Wow. You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You innocent. So right now I just start playing in my head. I'm innocent. And you know what? And I started to believe that. So when they took me to the 83rd precinct, and they had a body that happened over there, Jonathan Penn Maxwell. And you know what? I was a suspect in that. So they took me over there, and they had some witnesses came down. And as they took me out, put me in, I guess, a lineup or whatever, and I guess the people that they had supposed to come and identify me, they didn't pick me out. So they telling me, don't worry about it, we got one more witness to come. And when that witness get here, right now is that witness don't identify you, they gonna let me go. Okay, who that witness was? It wasn't a witness. 75th precinct came and got me. So they went and got me, and they took me back to the 75th precinct. And I can remember, like I said right now, what the officer and them was telling me. Yeah, we got you, man. We got you dead to right. And I can remember being escorted back to the 75th precinct. And by that time that I got there, my family knew about it or whatever. They got in contact with my lawyer on that Sunday, and I guess my lawyer called, the 75th precinct, and basically tell them right now, you know what, look, If y'all don't got enough on them, you gotta let them go. So basically right now, they took me up to the holding cell after I'd been in there for hours. And right now they told me, look, if we get the evidence that we need, we're gonna nail you to the cross. And you know what, folks, listen, to get picked up on that day, back in March 1st, March 2nd, and to walk out of there as a free man, knowing that I'm guilty as sin. Like I said right now, man, I felt like, John Gotti, what I'm saying, the Teflon Don that was beating, all those cases back then. That's how I felt. And folks, like I told you right now you think that I would have said, hey man, listen, I gotta leave this life alone. This life ain't for me. You think I would have did that? I didn't do that, folks. Only thing I did, I got a big head. I thought I was invincible. And folks, listen, man, nobody's invincible. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna read an excerpt from the book, Beyond Lucky. I'm gonna read an excerpt from the book. Okay, let me see what part I'm gonna get to. All right, on my way back, Saturday, March 1st, 1986, the bus made a stop, and I called my mother, who informed me that a detective named Joe Ponzi from 75th Precinct stopped by looking for me. I proclaimed my innocence to my mother and told her upon my return, I would contact the lawyer and go to the precinct on Monday. When I arrived at 59th Street in Columbus Circle, I took a yellow cab to Brooklyn in Columbus Circle, okay? Now, I met up with my man Tiny, okay? When my man, that was arrested for the body, his number appeared on my pager, okay? I called the number back, and it was a Brooklyn DA office. Bingo. They had him. I hung up. Okay? Now, like I said right now, as I'm at that phone booth on Nostrand Avenue, out of nowhere, somebody called my name. As I turned around, it was this cat. Dushawn, pointing a nickel-plated 38 at me. A few days prior, Dushawn, another guy, we got into a shootout because he tried to rob me. Okay? Nevertheless, now on Nostrand, 3 nights later, he's trying to kill me, chasing me up and down Nostrand Avenue, and I'm not strapped. Nostrand Avenue is a rough area, normally cops everywhere. As my luck is going downhill, while bullets are flying and crying out, not one of New York fires was in sight. All I remember is running and being out of breath. All right, as I talk about that, it go like this. I was able to escape unharmed. Within 3 hours, I was shot at by 2 different individuals in 2 different sections of Brooklyn. Okay, so now, like I was telling you, my man Crazy and them that had robbed the spot, now it's retaliation time, and they try to get me based upon what I did. About noon, March 2nd, we got up and thought about strapping up and going on a hunt, but we thought better of it, placed it on hold. We started off that day by going to my mother's church in the Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn. I went by my mother's church to let her know I was all right, and I would be meeting with my lawyer the following day. Hey, folks, listen, like I say, as my guys, we drew up from the church. Within a couple of blocks, an unmarked police car pulled us over. I got a car, put my hands up and asked my guys to put their hand up. The detective got out of the car and stated it was only a routine check, for us to put us down. That was BS. Out of nowhere, approximately 10 blue and white NYPD cars with siren blaring, barreled down to us. They got us out of the car, gun drawn, telling us to place our effing hands up in the air. I can remember the detective saying to me, either we have the wrong person or you are in a lot of trouble. I was handcuffed from behind and placed in the back of the detective unmarked car. At that time, I started to panic. And then out of nowhere, I had an out-of-body experience. I was able to step out of myself, slapping the living daylight out of myself and telling myself, don't worry about anything. You haven't done anything wrong. To my amazement, it worked. I became real calm and kept saying to myself that I didn't do anything. Hey, folks, listen, man. Like I told you right now, I was a sick individual between the age of 14 and 24. And right now, every time you look around, I kept getting involved, kept getting deep in that stuff. For what? Only thing I was doing causing havoc and destroying my community, folks. Listen, man, take it from somebody that knows, folks. Like I say, I wish I would have got the psychological help that I needed back then. I wish at one time I would have hit my head one time too many and stopped. I don't want to be down with the street. But it didn't happen, folks. I got worse and worse and worse. Listen, folks, crime doesn't pay. There's no shortcut in life. Like I say, get your signed copy of the Beyond Lucky book, a true story of crack, money, murder, and redemption. And as I say, if I, the one they call Brian Glaze Gibbs, can change, anybody can change, because change comes from within, and crime doesn't pay, folks. Listen, also, Anybody that's out there, man, because as you sit back and you think about it, I'm 91 years old, and you're going to have health problems. Anybody that's out there suffering from high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high weight, high sugar, listen, get you Panoxol, a natural ingredient that can combat high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high sugar, high weight. Once again, like I said right now, look at me, 91. Like I said right now, I'm in the best shape of my life, man. When you look good, you feel good, you do good. But the difference is if you're unhealthy physically, guess what? How can you be healthy mentally? And that's the difference. We got to get help, and we got to take care of ourselves. Listen, folks, thank you for joining me. Check out the Brian Glaze Gibbs Patreon page. Hit the like button, subscribe, share. One love.
What up, y'all? This is me, North Star, aka the Codist, and I just want to share with you this new supplement I've been taking. It's Panoxol. It's good for your heart health, which means your heart is pumping. You got a good flow of blood all through your body, right? You got stamina. You got more increased energy, right? And when you're pumping in the gym, hitting the weights, you feel strong, right? You feel alive. You feel vibrant. And when you're pumping in the bedroom, you're tearing it out the frame. Okay, so check this out. Tap in with me for the new Panoxol supplement, the good heart health.